It's my sincere pleasure. Thank you for having me here. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Now, mate, I've had a chance to take a listen to the album, and I absolutely loved it. So, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much,
So,
man.
mate, tell us a little bit about how this album came about, because it's been 8 years between albums, and I don't think anybody expected a new album like this, and we've got it. So, how did that journey start, and where did that spark come about to do a new album?
It was 2 years in the making. It started in the idea started in around 2020, just 1 month before the pandemic hit. And before that, if you would have asked me if there was going to be any plans for Downset to do an album or anything like that, I would have said not in a million years. Um, but through that hiatus for me with Downset, uh, Downset had a couple albums that they did that I wasn't on, was Universal and One Blood, and so I hadn't been in the band in, I would say, almost 18 years.
Yep.
So it's been longer for me. Um, is the lighting okay?
Yeah, that's fine. Yep.
So yeah, it's been longer for me. It started with the phone call from Ray. He called me. We hadn't spoken in about 18 years. And because it was, bands go through their peaks and valleys. It's a rough ride. Sometimes it's hard to stay together, and I salute those bands that have stayed together with original members for a long time. It's really difficult, and people, when as they're growing up, there's different things that come across in their lives, and they have a course correction or a course change, and so in this conversation that we had, it was just it was one of those conversations to just to mend our friendship. Ray was talking about letting resentment go, and I just said, you know what, it's a lot of water under the bridge, but the water's under the bridge and it's gone, and let's let bygones be bygones, and let's fix our friendship, man. I had a lot to do with, at my side, I had my issues, and I wasn't an angel, and so I apologized to him for that. If anybody needed some forgiveness, it was me. So we had a nice chat, and I was looking forward to that chat, and it's been years. It's like you haven't talked to your brother in that long. It's he's not my blood brother, but he's my homie. He's my buddy, and we go a long ways. And there's no reason why we shouldn't have mended our friendship a long time ago. But the time came, and he called, and then I popped the question. I said, "Hey," he said he wasn't calling me to reform the band. He just wanted to make amends. And I said, I accept, and thank you for your apology. Here's my apology. Now that we got that out of the way, if you have any ideas of wanting to reform the band, I'm available right now, and let's do it right now. So if you have any wild thoughts of reforming Downset, let's do it right now, because I have the time right now. And he was like, "Whoa, that's not the reason why I called, but I would love to." And so that was the beginning. We went to the drawing board. The first thing we did was we called every original member from the first album to see if they want to be a part of it. We would have loved to have a full reunion come back. It would have been a different impact, but things happen for a reason, and three of the guys said they couldn't do it because of the parameters that they have in their lives, and they gave us their blessings. They said, "Go ahead, man. Much respect for asking, and tear it up, do a great job, make us look good. We're still a part of this, even though we're not in it, and thank you for asking." And so we went forward. The first, and so going to the drawing board, I was thinking, well, what should we do? We were going to start from ground zero, from the ground up, And so the first thing I did was I called my buddy Andrew Klein from Strife, and we started riffing together, trying to make some songs. And then he introduced me to Nick Jett, who had produced his last couple albums, the bands that he's in: Strife, World Be Free, Berthold City. And Nick Jett's been having a hot hand lately in producing a lot of bands out of his private studio in Granada Hills. It's North Los Angeles. It's a home studio. So that's where we started demoing. We asked Carl Schwartz from First Blood to submit some songs, see if he had anything. He submitted some songs, and one of the first songs that we wrote together was "Hear Me Now," and then we wrote "The Place to Be," and then "Wreck It." And then those were our demos. As we were going along recording those demos, the pandemic hits, shuts the studio down for 5 months, and then we had to patiently wait through and figure out what the heck was going on. And it was a whole new scare for us. We had something that came out of left field. I would have never called it this obstacle. And so we went back in the studio after 5 months. I never felt that my life would be threatened just to go to a rehearsal studio. I mean, we didn't know what the hell was going on. Everybody was scared, masked up, and disinfectant spray everywhere, and it was, you couldn't come in the studio unless I sprayed you, and it was just bizarre way of making an album. But we finished actually the demos, and then that same year in October we got the record deal with Nuclear Blast. Our manager at the time, Scott Koenig, who had managed us during the Checker People days, he went and shopped the demo to Nuclear Blast. We got the deal, and then we were in pre-production December and February, and right around March or February, our Scott Koenig died from Delta virus or the Omicron, one of the two. And so we were just presented with just a lot of obstacles during this whole thing, and that's how the name for the album surfaced, and it was just a matter of, we had to hold it down, hold it together, basically maintain our focus, maintain our faith, and push it through. And we felt that the name of the album, Maintain, was very fitting for the things that we had to go through to do this album. So then we went into pre-production. We rented two months at Chris Poland's studio in downtown LA. He has a big rehearsal studio. We rented out 2 months. He was great. He's a great guy, and he helped us. He was very accommodating and very professional. And we wrote 15 songs. Ray wrote lyrics 13, and then we went in and tracked. We did vocals a month later in the studio, and then we mixed with Nick Jett mixed it, and then Howie Weinberg mastered it. And so it took exactly 2 years from the actual idea and when we went to the drawing board to master, to get in the record deal, master the album, in 2 years. And so 2 years and a half later, here we are with the release, and I'm really, really excited and really happy. And in a nutshell, that's the whole story. That's how it all came about.
Wow. And as you said, you wrote and recorded this album in a time period that's probably the craziest time period that we're ever going to see in our generation. How much of what was happening around the world at that time do you think influenced this album as well?
It did with a couple of songs. It did with the title of our album. It did with the song "Hear Me Now," which is our most politicized song in the album. We went into this album, I don't have lyric ideas. I'm in charge of writing the songs and recording them and putting things together, putting the band together. When we formed the band, Ray and I, it was me who went out and, searched out the engineers, producers, the recording studios, the management, all that stuff. That was, that's what I'm usually. That's what my role is in this band. When it comes to the lyrics, solely it's all Ray. It's all him. He writes every word, has written every word for this album, and so he had some ideas coming into the album. The pandemic really didn't, other than that one song, "Hear Me Now." The rest of the album really wasn't really affected too much as far as like the ideas and the titles of the songs by the pandemic, but it forced us to really do some soul searching and push forward, because there was a time where we felt that it wasn't going to happen, that all of a sudden everything was going to stop, and there was going to be no more music career for us. There was going to be no more record labels. It felt like it was going to be the end of everything at one point. I had my buddies in other bands moving to Texas saying, "Hey, I'm moving to Texas, man, and I don't care if my career is over." And these are guys who are major bands, and so there's just a lot of confusion. I had another friend who's in a popular band, and he won't jump on an airplane, and he had to get someone else to fill in for him. And it affected us personally, absolutely. But there was something happening within the project itself. The whole different set of a brewing situation, and there was some magic there, and so I would say, yeah, the pandemic definitely affected a lot of things. I think logistically wise, but as far as like lyrics, it was probably just one song that influenced Ray to write something about what was happening and how he felt about the situations that was going on at the moment.
How do you feel now that the album is about to come out? Are you excited about that, or are you a little bit nervous as well?
Well, it did come out on the 10th, and we have been getting amazing reactions by our following, who have been patiently waiting but asking every day when I would jump on the computer or my email or my social medias and hey, we need some new Downset, hey, we need some new merch, where are you guys? And there was a lot of that for me, especially because I hadn't been in the band in a long time, and people would ask, "Hey, are you going Downset?" I'm not sure. I'm doing something else, and so when we finally mastered the album, which was last October, we had that wait period from then till now, and that felt like a long time, because that album was done. We gave birth to that album. We felt like, wow, we felt 100 pounds lighter. And so now that it was released on Friday, and I'm looking at the comments on YouTube and the reactions of my friends who I'm in touch with. I feel that they're sincere when they tell me that they really like the album, and we love it. We love it ourselves. We never want to release anything that we don't love. We have to satisfy ourselves first before we think we can even satisfy, our critical fans or the fans or the following that loves us. We got to give them the best, and in order to give them the best, we have to make ourselves happy first. And so that was one thing that I really stressed out throughout the project, is that we really have to be happy about what we're doing, and we have to be, honest with ourselves too, because sometimes you just want a song to be released because you feel it's good, but maybe 10 other, people in the project are not feeling it, and you have to come down to your senses and accept reality that maybe this song is not as good as you think it is. But together we have to, as a unit, we have to be honest with ourselves with every song and listen to it, listen to the lyrics, and be 100% satisfied before we can, release it out and share it. Because if we're not, you better believe that our following will, might not like it. That's how I think. You got to really make yourself comfortable with what you're releasing first. And so we felt we accomplished that, and we were really happy with everything. We were happy with how Nick Jett recorded the album. He's a great producer. How Howie Weinberg mastered it. It was just, everything was, everything fell into place for us, and we hadn't felt that magic since the first album. And I heard Ray say that. I haven't felt this good about something in a very, very, very long time. And probably, I think he was referring to the demos. The very first demos that we wrote was first, when he felt that happy. He loves all the albums he's done, but he said he's never felt that. And that was something that was, for me as a co-producer, and I had my responsibilities and the pressure that I had, with the task that I was given. It's a hard thing to make everybody happy. It's really difficult, especially yourself. So we just had a combination of a lot of luck. We all worked really hard, and I think working really hard creates your luck. And we were able to accomplish all the short-term goals, so we can get to that long-term goal. And
well, the result has been something absolutely amazing. Like you said, your fans are loving it. Where to now for the band? What are your plans now for the rest of the year, at least?
Well, we're anticipating getting out on the road as soon as possible and playing shows. And we haven't played in a long time. As of right now, we're not show ready, and basically we're just waiting for Ray to come around and be ready. He's just not ready. So the band's ready to go. But we need to get together and rehearse out the old songs and put together a set list. And we're getting offers. We all have our personal 9-to-5 jobs, all of us. Some of us don't have as a forgiving schedule as others, but when it comes down to it, and we have a schedule in front of us, we're going to get going, and we'll be out there.
Awesome. Well, Ray, I know we are running out of time very, very quickly, and we are hoping that at some stage we get to see you guys in Australia as well. But for now, what would you like to say to all of your Australian fans out there who are listening right now?
I have never been to Australia, and it's not that I regret not going, because we never had an offer. We never had a chance to go down there. Believe it or not, we've never seen one offer. And I didn't think that we had any as strong as a following as I see now. I didn't know that we had followers in Australia, all the way in Australia. And, we've been around for a long time, and I'm sure people have heard of us. But from how now we're connected through social media and everything else, man, I can't wait to come to Australia. That's the first territory that I want to come to. It's a beautiful country. I see a lot of beautiful pictures, and the people are beautiful. I know there's a lot of shit that's happening right now, but it's probably no different than what's happening here in LA. So I want to go check it out. I want to be a part of it, and I can't wait to go down there, and to any of the promoters that are down there, or anybody that books shows, give us some offers. Bring us down there. We want to come down.
Definitely.